Greetings, hello, my fellow Jewel Heart Sangha. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I'm making this message and I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and then I'm gonna give it to you guys, the Jewel Heart people that are on my email list. So I wanted to talk about something. You know, things are getting really kind of crazy in the world right now, obviously. People's attitudes are really intense right now. There's a lot of pushiness, a lot of bossiness, and a lot of fear, a lot of kind of condescension, looking down on certain groups of people because they don't do what you want them to do. It's not Buddhist to do that. So anyways, I'm talking to you here from an undisclosed location in beautiful western Michigan. Rimpoche talked about this idea of a two-tiered society could possibly happen. That he warned us that there's a possibility that we could have a two-tiered society in the future. And he had just seen that movie Gattaca. He'd seen the movie Gattaca with Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, right? And so Ethan Hawke's character is genetically imperfect. He's not been engineered. He's not been engineered to be, one of those high-level scientists, or whatever it was. Like, only those people were hired for those jobs. And so Rinpoche had seen that movie, and he had warned us in the talks and in the transcripts, you can read it, where there's a two-tiered society. And it's kind of like the genetically perfect people and then the genetically unperfect people. However you want to categorize that. So you create and Rinpoche said there could be a segregated society. There could be this kind of two-tiered society in the future. Wow, interesting, right? Interesting. So when you look at things, I mean, I'm not against the idea of getting, one of these. I gotta use coded language, it's YouTube. They might take it off or something. So if you get one of these, you can eat dinner. You can go to the movies, That's what they're gonna try to do. I mean, they're doing that in New York City right now, so that's why it's plausible. And they're also doing that in France. They're trying to do that in the UK and in Italy, and everyone's protesting because no one can mandate some kind of health thing. You can't. Let's put it this way. Who is the largest group of unjabbed people? Who's the largest group in America of unjabbed people? I want you to try to guess. Right? No, it's not the Trump supporters. I knew that's what you were going to say. It's African Americans. Why do they mistrust the government? I mean, why would African Americans mistrust the American government? I mean, I don't know. That's just crazy, right? Actually, it's not crazy. And they have plenty of reason to not trust the government. And I'm not going to tell them what to do. Okay? But now what you have in New York City is there's going to be a whole lot of African Americans that can't go into a restaurant and eat, much less use the lavatory. You can't even do that. I mean, this is not what we do in a Western liberal society where we corner certain groups of people into doing certain things or they lose their privileges. That seems fascist, seems tyrannical to me. You've got this Carnival cruise ship just came through. Every single person on that cruise ship got the jab. And the virus spread there. Okay. Well, maybe it was less. Okay, sure. The thing is it really comes down to people have medical freedom and choice to do what they want. The drummer from Offspring has this, what do you call it? The Guillain-Barré syndrome. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. The drummer of Offspring, the ex-drummer of Offspring, this band from California, punk rock band, yeah. They had to fire their drummer because he couldn't get this, because he's already had, just either from growing up or somehow he contracted Guillain-Barré syndrome. So literally, and if you look at the FDA website, it warns against Guillain-Barré syndrome. You could get it if you take this medical procedure. If he takes that medical procedure, he's in trouble. So he's clearly should be exempt, right? I mean, clearly. His doctor said no. Well, what the president says, or what these companies say, does not have precedence over someone's individual medical rights. It's crazy to me. So that guy, he lost his job because he was unable to take this. It wasn't because he was one of those Trump supporters, you just got to tell them what to do, they're just so crazy. No. He's just a guy, he can't take that particular medical procedure. You can't, you're going to tell people what to do? It's the thing that I've seen in the past 4 years, well, let's say past 5 years, is this kind of like the people that I thought were these kind, loving, kind of liberal-minded individuals got really sour and really kind of tell you what to do and kind of know it all, like they know what's best, and like pushy jerks. Really embarrassing to the point where I had to get away from it. I got away from social media. It's like poison. So this is a really bad direction that the world is going in, and it comes down to this. There's always going to be people who are going to take this, and there's always going to be people who are not going to take this. And unfortunately, in this case, it's a majority African Americans who aren't going to take this. So those people are going to be now second-tier citizens. Rimpoche warned us against this. Okay? It's not those Trump supporters. It's like people who have honest distrust in the government, and they don't have. And what it really comes down to is, if I say no, no means no. What do you call it when somebody puts something in you without your permission? Where I'm from, it's called rape. So if I don't want something in me and you try to do that, that's what I see it as, okay? It's very simple. And I'm gonna quote Shanti Deva from my mind. It's gonna be like, what do you call it? You'll be able to figure it out. So what did Shanti Deva say? He goes, you can't cover the entire earth with leather, okay? You can only cover the bottom of your own foot. You can't cover the entire earth with leather. You can only cover your own foot. What does that mean? It means that you got to do the work to be the protector in your own way, the way you do it. And you can't expect to enforce the Bodhisattva code on other people. You can merely practice it and be an example of it. There is no enforcement of the Bodhisattva code, okay? Right? I think we know that. So literally, are you going to disagree with Shanti Deva on that one? Rinpoche used to joke about this one time when I said, I'm an American. I said that at a retreat in Holland when they were like, oh, it's time to go inside. Everyone has to go inside. It's 6 o'clock, time to go inside. And I was like, I'm an American. I don't have to go in. I was annoyed. I was in an annoyed state, and so I just kind of said that. And I walked away. I didn't walk into the teaching. Rinpoche loved that. And there's something to be said about that. I'm not trying to talk myself up here, but since I'm that guy, since I'm the American, I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to play that role. I'm going to be that. I am that. I believe in the basic ideas of America, which is, self-sovereignty. The government doesn't own me. The government is subservient to me, you know? So I just would really like to see people calm down. I mean, like, the way that this is being set up, it's creating, you know, family member against family member, you know, Sangha member against Sangha member. It's divide and conquer, you guys. It's clearly divide and conquer. You know, it's just like, you know, black against white, straight against gay, you know, left versus right. This goes beyond left versus right, you guys. This goes beyond Trumpism. This goes beyond Biden versus Trump. This goes beyond that, okay? Everybody's been really encouraged to be really angry over the past 5 years. They've been gaslit and encouraged. I don't care what side of the media you're looking at. They're encouraging us to basically fight and kill each other. That's the way it looks like to me. Let's do this. Like, let's create two-tiered society where there's the one group that's privileged. No, I'm not talking about the skin color. Actually, my skin isn't actually white. It's more like peach. I'm talking about, you've got this, you got your vax privilege card, and then you got the deviants. Oh, the deviants, right? So there's these people and these people, and then you just throw meat in between them. Just drop a big chunk of meat. Ah! It's pretty clear that that is what is going on here. That they're gaslighting. It's like flame war, trying to fuel this type of, you know, brother versus brother civil war type, you know, Stasi, call on your neighbor type stuff. It's the opposite of liberal, you guys. It's not liberal. That's authoritarianism. And when you have the President of the United States saying, we will make it as hard as possible for you, basically, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, we'll make it as hard as possible for you to function if you don't take the medical procedure that not your doctor said, but what we said. That's crazy, you guys. I worked in a grocery store for a year as a cashier last year during the pandemic. I wore a handkerchief over my face, which we now know is like, does nothing. The disease is like 1 micron loss. It's like, what do you call it? Mosquitoes through a chain link fence. The disease is not being held back. If you really want to, maybe the N95 masks will work, okay. But I was in a store where there was like gobs of people coming through. I mean, like, I had 100 people a day I served. I'm a fast cashier, man. I got like 100 people came past me a day. You know, we had plexiglass, and I had the pretend mask. And out of all that interaction in, you know, the quote unquote hotspot area, or close to a hotspot area, close to the U of M hospital, there was one person who got the vid, the coof as we call it, code word coof. There's one person who got the coof, and he was off of work for about a week and a half. He came back and he was fine. But yeah, he had it. It's a form of flu. It's real. It's basically it's like a flu. It's not normal flu, but it's definitely something of that nature. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, okay? I know people are going to be mad when I send this out. But it's just really crazy. And the social pressure, the peer pressure from my government, peer pressure. People are losing their jobs. Like, they're going across the board and doing this. We know for a fact that every human being does not have the same genetic structure, and that you can't apply one specific drug to all human beings. It does not work. Oh yeah, so what I was going to say is, what the president was going to do, he said, the president of the United States said, we're going to make this as hard as possible for you. In so many words, he's like, make it as hard as possible for you to function if you don't get this. Dude, that's tyrannical. You know, COVID is not the end of the world. Oh, I said the word. It's not the end of the world, you guys. It's important to be careful. We have to be cautious. We have to be smart. But we can't become medical fascists. You have to do it. You have to. You have to. I don't have to do anything. I'm an American. I have to be a good person. I have to function properly. So anyways, that's about all. I just want you to know that I don't support this kind of medical apartheid system. I don't support any of it. And I'm a little embarrassed that that's kind of going on currently in Julehart. I'm embarrassed. But I also understand that there's a lot of paranoia. People are scared. It's really lowest common denominator fear. There's the people who are the most afraid in society, and we're all having to, like, you know, coddle them. And we're at the point now where we can't coddle the fearful. You're just going to have to understand that not everyone is going to do what you want them to do. And if you try to force them to do something they don't want to do, what does that make you? Makes you a jerk. Makes you a fascist. Makes you a tyrant. So, that's what I wanted to say. You know, in the meantime, I'm going to go and enjoy culture, enjoy life. I'll tell you what, on the west side of the state, people are less paranoid. It's just kind of like life is normal. And I like it better over here. I don't even know what to think of Ann Arbor anymore. It's just... And the other thing is this, I'll say this in closing, like, as someone who kind of, you know, I think we're all empathic to a certain degree. We can feel other people's emotions. We can feel their thoughts even sometimes. And when I see those people walking around and it's like, oh, you know that they've been watching that CNN and that, you know, or even Fox or whatever. They're watching the fear news. And they got the fear thing on. And they're just really scared. They're really scared. And so I'm trying to be understanding, but your fear does not control me. Your fear does not control my life. This is a battle for, you know, autonomy and freedom. Our government never has autonomy over us, you guys. The government never owns us. No. I'm not government property. Are you? Do you have the freedom to choose what you want? I'm pro-choice. If you're sick, stay home. If I'm sick, I don't bother people. I don't go out. I don't get sick very often. Anyways. And you know, I'll tell you one more thing. I live in a house with four people, me and 3 others. In November, or was it? Gosh, when was it? Yeah, no, it was like December of last year, December 2020. 3 of my housemates, according to the PCR tests, had the vid, had the coof. Yeah. I lived in a house with 3 people who had that, okay? According to those tests. Strangely enough, they all exhibited like zero effect. Like they were asymptomatic. They didn't cough. I didn't hear any coughing, nothing. It's a small house too, by the way. I never got it. I was tested twice in that period. In an 8-day period, I was tested twice. Because I actually got sick. But it wasn't with the coof. I was just every 2 years I get, you know, sick. 3 people got this supposed thing, but they weren't sick at all. They didn't have any symptoms. It was just like, but you know, I did my part. I didn't go out. I stayed away. I'm pretty good at that anyways, you guys. I just drive around in my car, do whatever, you know, roll cigarettes. You know, I did what you're supposed to do. If you're sick and you don't know if you've got the thing, you go away, you hide out. And that's what I did. I did what I was supposed to do, you guys. And so did my housemates. And I never got it. And they supposedly had it, but they exhibited no signs of that. So maybe the PCR tests, the guy who invented them himself said he doesn't, Like if you set the cycle at a certain level, you can get anything. So anyways, I'm sure you probably haven't made it this far into the video. I'm just kind of freestyling or ranting at this time, but you know, don't be afraid to just go out and live, man. We're all gonna die someday, okay? And I don't think I'm gonna die from this thing. Never know. Hope I don't. Shouldn't wish things on people, and we should definitely be a little bit more compassionate, because every individual is different. No one's gonna be the same. So just have a little, open up a little bit, have a little space for people. It's crazy, you guys. It's been crazy for the past 5 years, and I really wanted to say, first of all, Jewel Heart is a 501c3 nonpartisan group. You're gonna have people in there who are Republicans, Democrats, Independents, everybody, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Okay? So let's just try to calm down and actually practice Buddhism. See ya.